Ya casi es la temporada de fiestas y en JCPenney tenemos de todo para ti y tu familia. Ya sea que estés en modo fiesta, fuera de casa o en casa, tenemos el estilo que buscas. Como vestidos para salir de noche o lindos looks para la foto con Santa. Y no olvides las pijamas coordinadas para lucir en familia. Tus marcas favoritas te esperan durante toda la temporada. Looks increíbles a precios impresionantes. JCPenney. Celebraciones que valen la pena.
Your favorite band's about to play a sold-out show. You got in.
Over here.
With a friend. And found a spot close enough to see the set list. They're definitely playing your song. When you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
I want to advance my nursing career, but I can't stop working or spend a lot of money to earn a degree. My family and my patients need me. At WGU, I can earn a Master of Science in Nursing while juggling my busy life.
At WGU, we hear you. That's why we built a nonprofit online university around you. Here, you set the deadlines. You take the courses on your time, and you take the test when you're ready. WGU, the University of You. Learn more at wgu.edu.
Hey, it's Christine from Storyworthy. Today on the show, comedian and podcaster Lisa Orkin talks about spending time in a convent.
I rented a little room at the Santa Barbara Mission. People go up there when they're struggling with life, and they rent like a couple days and spend some time with the nuns. I walked down another hall. People's doors are like slightly open, and there's nothing decorated. It's all just Jesus in a bed. So I didn't really do much of anything but cry and walk around crying and looking for the bathroom.
Today on the show, comedian Lisa Orkin talks about getting away from it all and spending some time at a convent. Stay close.
Hey, this is Lisa Orkin, and you're listening to Storyworthy.
Welcome to Storyworthy. My name is Christine Blackburn, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Whether you're a longtime fan of the show or a new listener, welcome to Storyworthy. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the show last week with actress Mary Birdsong. Are you familiar with Mary Birdsong's work, Lisa?
I am. I think, and I'm not positive, but I have a strange memory of her and I doing an episode of Becker together. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was her and I.
My mom loved that show so much. Because Ted Danson was so hot.
He was really hot. Mary Steenburgen he was with her then?
Yeah, his
wife.
And
she was hanging around. I've never seen anyone rock a pair of Levi's as well as her.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. And I was like, literally, like, I've never seen it like a tushy so beautiful.
That's like my fantasy is to hang out with those guys, you know?
Yeah, I want to hang out. Yeah.
I want to go over to Ted Danson's for a barbecue.
Yeah, it's Malibu, right?
Let's work on that.
Yeah, saving the ocean.
I think we could do that.
We should just join his organization.
That's a really good idea.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, or you work with him.
Yeah. I worked with him.
Okay.
And yeah, we didn't become friends or anything.
But that was on Becker.
Yeah.
But you were what was your role?
I was as a usual on TV. I was an annoying patient. I'm usually an annoying character. I don't know. I don't think I'm annoying in life.
I don't think you are.
No.
I feel like you're very normal.
No, but in commercials and TV, I'm always annoying.
That's so funny. Are there any that stand out to you?
I was like an annoying. This is like for a certain generation, Keenan and Kel. I was like a reoccurring annoying customer.
Right. Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah,
sure.
And then I was an annoying. I was on Sybil, and I was like this. I stalked her. I stalked Sybil.
Sybil Shepherd?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
crazy.
crazy.
She was kind.
Good. I'm glad.
I loved her, actually.
I'm glad. I had her daughter on Storyworthy.
Oh, you did?
Clementine, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she was such a wonderful, sweet person.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, go back and listen to Mary Birdsong last week because she had a really, really funny story about when she was in high school. She was in French class, and they were going to Paris on a field trip. And, of course, that involves money, and her family didn't have any money. And what did her mother do to get the money? Lisa Orkin, take a guess.
What? Sold their car?
Went to Atlantic City.
Oh. That's amazing.
It's a great story. You guys go back and listen to Storyworthy last week with Mary Birdsong, because not only is her story good, but she's delightful and she's super funny. And what a talent. What a talent. Just amazing. But not today, you guys. Stick around, because today I have comedian Lisa Orkin, and she brings forth the topic, the time I spent in a convent. And all I could think about is like punishment.
Yeah, I did it for spiritual reasons.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Jewish. I'm not Catholic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I did it because it was like it's a spiritual thing. Is this the moment?
No, don't tell us
Oh,
now.
yeah. Okay, no.
No, hold on. Don't tell me.
Yeah, no, it
Don't
was
tell me
more,
yet.
yeah, it was spiritual.
But like, I did grow up Catholic, and I remember there was a nunnery near my house called St. Vincenzo or something like that. And my mom made us go there once and like look around. And then I remember the lady saying to my mom, "You have 5 girls. You should certainly give up 1 for the convent." And I'm like, that ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, I grew up in a Catholic area, so for me,
I see.
I think there was something comfort. We had St. Emily's by me. We had St. Mary's or Mary. We had an orphanage near us.
Oh, yeah.
In Chicago.
A Catholic orphanage.
A Catholic orphanage.
Yeah, they're always doing a lot of good work.
They
of
were,
course.
yeah. And there were actually kids from the orphanage that went to school with us, and I actually loved them.
Yeah.
They were my favorite people to hang out with.
Oh.
And so I made friends with them, and I remember going to the orphanage sometimes, and it was literally like rows and rows and rows of beds with different colors. And I remember saying to my mom, "Why can't I live here?"
Wow.
Like I thought it looked really fun.
Where was that?
Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yeah,
Wow.
outside of Chicago.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go there?
I think we were just dropping it. Like one of my friends hung out after school, and then we drove them back to
the orphanage.
Yeah. So Mary Ruiz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, those kids were probably more street smart or something, or
Yeah.
like more wise to the world and not so childish.
They were much more interesting. They protected me. I was tiny little, and so I think they just liked me too because I was weird and
Yeah.
I wasn't like and I looked like them. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the blonde sort of Midwestern, I was olivey, and so I looked more like them.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm certainly excited to hear about this whole convent thing. I got to tell you, man, the last time I went to church was when I was 15, and like I'm never going into another Catholic church again. I just don't want to do it, and like if I would go to a wedding, I would not go to the wedding. I'll just go to the reception. Like I'm just not going to put myself through that because I actually have like kind of nightmares about those masses and the repetition and those prayers. And now, even if I find myself in a certain situation, I might start doing those prayers in my head, even though I'm not at all religious. Not only am I not religious, I'm not Catholic at all. So it's funny that it left such an impact on me.
Yeah, I mean, it left an impact on me, and I wasn't even raised, I had like liberal Jewish parents. We were not, but I think I was always fascinated, like, if I could only believe like they believe, would life be easier?
So you felt like the outcast then because you were the minority.
Right. I mean, the Catholic girls would always tell me I'd go to hell in grade school. That's
nice.
Or I killed Jesus.
Well, sure.
All of those things. So I think I was fascinated by all of the.
Like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. I remember like going home to my dad, like, why did we kill Jesus? And he was like, we didn't kill Jesus. So yeah,
the Romans killed Jesus.
Yeah. He goes, it wasn't us, and not us personally, and we're nice people. We don't kill people.
It's just it's so over. Is it the word overboating? Overboating. Is that the word overbearing?
Overbearing.
See, in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I think we grew up in Pittsburgh, in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, but it seems very similar to Chicago.
Yeah, very Catholic, very 8, 9
white.
Kids in a family, very white, and we lived in a very Catholic neighborhood. We were the only Jews.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting time, and we accidentally lived there because my dad was supposed to go to Highland Park where all the Jews were, but he made a wrong turn on the freeway and just rented a house.
That is so funny.
Yeah, which changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Did you still go to temple and stuff? Did your family still take part in all the services? You got bat mitzvah?
I did not, because in my day, I think part of me feels bad about that.
Yeah.
It's just because I wanted to, But I think my parents were so exhausted by my 2 older brothers. They were like, we just can't do this again. And
But don't you have to? Isn't it like a rule?
No, you know what? And I was sort of on the cusp of girls doing it and not doing it.
Interesting.
So I sort of flew, but I was confirmed. I went to like Sunday school until I was in high school.
Wait, Catholic Sunday school?
No, like Sunday school, Jewish.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it was Saturday school, then it was Sunday school, then it was Monday school.
Oh God!
So it just kept changing. So I did.
Not 3 days a week.
No,
Oh,
not
I see.
yeah, and it was liberal. It was a liberal reform synagogue. So little, the teacher would like throw rocks on the ground and go, "All right, where do they land? Let's think about this."
Wow.
And if one landed different, would everything be different? So it was more
That
that.
left an impact.
Yeah, so it was more of that kind of. It was like these very heady, intellectual, Jewish teachers who would talk philosophy.
Wow. Yeah, I get lost. I mean, I'm just such a plain spoken person when it comes to stuff like that. As much as I'd like to be more of a, like, I guess you'd say intellectual or more well read. I mean, I read books all the time, but I'm talking about like literature. I don't have that.
I don't feel like I come from that kind of family, but I feel like I'm the black sheep there too. Like I'm not the most
academic.
Yeah, my siblings would say, I don't know, you may be the best read of all of us, but my older brother is definitely super academic. My siblings all have masters, but me. So I come from that kind of family. But
and my whole family is not my whole family, but a lot of my family is teachers.
I have teachers too.
Yeah, exactly. And so things are more cut and dry.
Yeah,
it's definitely not artistic or creative. I mean, they use creative things in their work, but I mean, as a talent, it's
I have 2 teachers and 1 writer.
Yeah, interesting.
So, and then I grew up with a showbiz dad. So, yeah.
Your dad was in show business?
Yeah.
What was his deal?
He was a radio, personality comedy guy.
Oh, that was great then, right?
Yeah, so he had like a show called Chicken Man for years, and he...
Chicken Man.
Yeah, so he was like huge in like the 60s and 70s, and then he sort of like made it into... he was kind of like the funny commercial guy on the radio.
That's great. So you knew it was possible.
I knew it was possible.
That's nice because, you could see like a tangible person working a job that was, creative.
Yeah, but here's the weird thing about that. Such an interesting concept is then I just thought, of course, that's what I'll do.
Wow.
And make money. I didn't realize that it wouldn't be, I thought it was just a given.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not.
Well, you are such a hard worker, so it seems like that's maybe where you got your work ethic. Because you always do have a lot of projects going on and you do a lot of stuff. You're like a multi-talent. You're actress, comedian, writer. You're just putting out content. A lot of content, a lot of social media, a lot of everything.
I do. I just have something to say all the time.
Yeah, I love that. Listen, you guys, before we get to Lisa's story, I wanted to remind you to follow me over there on Twitter and Instagram at Storyworthy. But if you really want to follow me on a quality place, you go to Instagram at Story Smash. That's what I want to say.
Story Smash.
Yeah, because you see all the pictures from the show and you see how fun it is and how entertaining the show is. And the Instagram feed is just really, it's really collectively exciting. And there's no politics. There's no nothing. It's just Story Smash.
I was just at Story Smash.
And did you have a good time?
I did. I had the best time.
Tell everybody in America.
Okay, I'm right now.
And the world.
Okay, I'm telling everybody. Okay, yes, I will. Yeah.
Tell them what happens. What goes on there.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's amazing storytellers, which really quality storytellers, which trust me is not always the case.
Right.
And so really quality storytellers.
That must be because of the person who books the show.
Oh, it is the person who books the show.
Wow,
and so,
she does a great job, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does a great job. Mm-hmm. I really like her, and she actually was wearing a super cute jumpsuit.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, Story Smash just was the other night. It was super fun. The next show is September 28th, and in fact, Mary Birdsong is going to be on judging.
Ah, nice.
So I'm excited about that. Anyway, you guys, you should also check out my other podcast, Screwed Up Stories. Do that. It's on Westwood One, screwedupstories.com. We're actually doing very well over there. Just recently, just in the last couple of months, it's having a little turnaround, and we're getting some more quality guests over there at Screwed Up Stories, so check that out as well. All right, you guys, she's here right now. Lisa Orkin, you heard her. She is a comedian and an actress, and you've written with some interesting people like Adam McKay, and Shira Piven. Is that true?
Yeah. They actually produced my first movie that I starred in, my only movie that I starred in and wrote. Adam McKay produced.
That's amazing.
Yeah, saw me on stage doing a show and said that would make an interesting movie. And so me and a friend of mine, Paula Killen, we wrote it with Shira. And Shira and Paula and I all together made it happen. And it's called Fully Loaded. It's on Amazon. People think it's an Adam McKay movie, and it's not that kind of comedy. And so, yeah, I've had lots of brushes with Almost.
That is though a success.
It is. But here's it is a success. Okay, thank you.
Did you think that it should have led to another place?
Yeah, it should have, except that I ran away with a guy to Big Sur.
Interesting.
Right as it was sort of cresting and winning all these awards, and everybody else, like Shira, went on to direct Welcome to Me. And
why did you leave?
I don't know.
Like a little panic attack thing?
Maybe. I tend to do that.
How long were you with that guy?
A year and a half.
Yeah, and then you guys split and you came back.
Yeah.
Big Sur is so it's so isolated. Yeah.
It was so isolated. He had a VW bus. It was very cliche.
Wow. Did he play guitar?
He did not play guitar, but he liked to sing and dance.
Okay.
Not like sing and dance like musicals, like, more rock and roll. Like, let's go listen to some rock and roll.
Yeah, I like doing that too.
Yeah, and he was a Burning Man guy. And
boy, yeah.
Yeah, so that, I just tend to run away when things start doing well. I'm trying not to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
It is.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
You just repeat your behaviors because you can expect that,
Yeah.
And if you take the leap, then you don't know what the ending's going to be.
I have no idea even how to. I go to therapy and just be like, am I just going to keep repeating?
I know.
I'm going to keep repeating.
I know, but maybe not.
Yeah. No, I think
it could change. You could just decide, you know what, I'm going to change.
Yeah, I'm really working on that.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
You've been very active in the podcast world. You've had shows including Men Have Feeling Too.
Yeah.
Which that kind of morphed into Honestly Lisa.
Yeah.
And then you also have a very popular show called Love Bites with Robbie Rist. And those are funny. Those are tiny little sound bites, like 2 minutes long, 1 minute long, of you on the telephone with an old boyfriend in an actual conversation. And then your buddy Robbie plays the boyfriend.
Yeah, he plays actually every guy in my life.
Boys.
Yeah, all the boys.
It's such a funny idea.
They've all morphed into one. And so Robbie and I recreate actual conversations.
How do you remember the conversations?
It's those conversations that you just don't want to forget.
Yeah.
Those conversations where, you say to someone for the first time, I love you, and they say thank you. You just don't forget that.
Yeah.
Ever.
I've said thank you.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, what are you supposed to say?
Well, I love you back.
What if you don't?
I know. Well, that's the deal. It just felt so horrible. He was like, yeah, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, well,
that's
honest.
Yeah, it's honest. It just, I was married for 18 years, so
wow, that's a long time.
I really don't have I didn't have a lot of experience dating, so I walked into a lot of now I would never
Were you
say
thinking
that.
every date you went into was going to be the marriage?
Yeah, I later found out that he had been married for the whole time.
Ay.
But his wife.
Wait, who?
The guy.
The love guy,
Yeah, the Big Sur guy. That was the
time.
Big Sur guy.
The Big Sur guy was married that whole time.
Yeah, but and I met his kids and everything. I mean, they weren't together anymore, but he just said they didn't want to get divorced. And
wow. So you knew that going in?
No.
You didn't know that? That sucks, man.
No, I ran into his wife at Starbucks. And she told me.
What did she say?
I had a picture of Jim on my wallet. I had no idea it was even his wife. And she looked at the picture and she goes, that's my husband.
Wait, by chance?
By chance.
You're in line. This should be the flippin' story, man.
No,
you're in Starbucks.
I'm in Starbucks and I'm in line. She's working at Starbucks.
I see.
In Monterey. None of them are going to listen to this.
It's a small town.
It's a small town. And in my little Vera Bradley wallet, I have Jim's picture on it.
Yeah.
And just because it was a cute passport picture and I just stuffed it in the clear part. And so I took out my wallet to pay for my drink and I laid it on the counter and she looked down at the picture and she went, that's my husband. And I went, no, that's my boyfriend. And she goes, yeah, no, we're still married. Oh, she had a German accent. Oh, no, we're still married.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
wow, that's shocking.
And I left without my drink, which kind of irritates me to this day.
Yeah.
I paid for it.
And you didn't take it with you?
Yeah.
And then did you go confront him right away?
Yeah, I called him right away, and he was like, yeah, it's just not a big deal. It's just because of real estate. And I was like, yeah, whatever. It's a big fucking lie.
Well, listen, man, I could see why that podcast, Love Bites, is so funny. You guys should check it out. It's really very tiny bites. It's 1 and 2 minute long shows. So you end up listening to like 10 in a row.
Yeah.
That's what I do anyway.
Yeah.
You also have another show called Project Woo Woo, which is a strange name, I will say that. Project Woo Woo, it's a podcast where it's like part interview, part biography, and then it's part parody, which is super funny. And I'm going to do one about Stevie Nicks. So basically, you interview somebody who is clearly not that person, but you get...
To me, they are clearly that person.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I would never be able to get Stevie Nicks on my podcast.
Right.
So or the Dalai Lama. Or President Lincoln. So you know what? I have all these friends. You guys just play them for me.
I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, you can find Lisa over there at her website, lisaorkincreative.com, or her other website, projectwoowoo.com.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, wherever you are, put your hands together for Lisa Orkin.
So my mom passed away, and I was really struggling with it. Really, really struggling with it. And I decided that my mom always thought she was Jewish, but she always thought in a past life she was a nun. She was convinced. She even went to psychics and they said she was a nun. And I thought, I need to get in touch with my mom and I need to figure this out. So I rented a little room at the Santa Barbara Mission, which is I didn't realize it was a recovery sort of thing, but it's a recovery thing. And so people go up there when they're struggling with life and they rent a couple days and spend some time with the nuns. So I packed up my little cute suitcase and drove up to Santa Barbara, and here I am with my lipstick on and everything. The nuns greet me in the parking lot, no makeup. And then I felt really self-conscious. And then they were like, well, welcome, Lisa. We're so glad you're here. And I said, I'm here because I lost my mom and I'm just really struggling. And they brought me inside and it was beautiful. It was so pretty, the wood, the everything. And I said, well, I'm really looking for my mom. And they said, okay. So then they bring me into this tiny little room. And as we walk up the stairs, she goes, don't go to that part. It's cloistered. And I was like, cloistered? She goes, yeah, that's where the cloistered nuns live and priests live. They don't talk to people. They don't see the outside world. And I'm like, right there? And she's like, yeah, so just, and the bathroom is actually right, down the hall from the cloistered part. And she was like, and she goes, I said, and so where's the bathroom? She's like, down the hall to the right, and then make a left, and then make another right. I'm like, oh, great. I'm never going to find that. And she goes, and then there's a secret garden outside your window. And you can go walk around the garden, but you can't walk in it. And I was like, I can walk around it, but not in it? And she goes, yes, you could just walk around it. Just walk around it. Don't go inside the garden. Just go on the perimeter. I'm like, okay, lots of rules. I'm okay with that. Lots of rules. So then, and then she's like, and I said to her, I go, well, I just went through a breakup as well. And so I think this is really good for me. I should tell you I'm Jewish. And it didn't even faze her. Didn't even faze her. I get in the room and I take a selfie with Jesus. That's the first thing I do. It was Jesus on the wall. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? There's no internet here. There's no nothing here. What was I thinking? And
How
I'm like,
old were you?
I was 48, 47. And so I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm like, that's okay. I brought my books. I brought magazines and then I thought, I'm just going to go walk around the secret garden. So then I go down to the secret garden and I walk around it and around it and around it. And then I go get myself some bad Lipton's tea because they only have one kind of tea. And so not that it's a problem. It's not a total problem. It's just a little bit of a problem. I should have brought tea bags and I usually do. So then I go sit outside and I realize there are people there that are in rehab. It's like a rehab place, and they're really struggling. And so I start to try to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't want to, and then I just feel myself starting to want to just cry. And I go to the nuns, and I walk into the nun's office to tell her, I can't stay here. And as I walk in the nun's office, there is the most beautiful priest. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is like that Sex in the City sort of setup. Like beautiful, beautiful priest. I think his name was Father John or something. John or Jim, John. I think it was Father John.
So Thornbirds.
It's so Thornbirds and a little bit of Handmaid's Tale, I think. And so then I look at the nun, and she's sitting there, and I just completely blurt and start crying. There's two nuns and Father John, and I just start crying. I've had a divorce, and I'm like not, and then I keep apologizing for myself. So I'm like, I had a divorce, and I'm sorry that I had divorce. Not that I'm Jewish, so it doesn't matter. It's like, but I like literally just start to hilariously, horribly sob, and then I remember like kneeling down and putting my head on the couch next to one of the nuns, and they were just looking at me like they had no idea. And I'm like, I'm not on drugs, I'm just emotional. And I literally lost it. It was kind of hilarious. And then it was like, all right, I'm feeling better now. And she's like, would you like some soup? And I said, sure. And she took me to this really weird room, and I had soup. There was no one in there, but it was a big room, and I'm the only person in there eating soup. And then I go back up to my room, and I think I just fell asleep. And I woke up, and it was like the middle of the night, and I had to pee. And, you could hear like echoes of everything. And I'm wearing like my nightie, or I have no idea what I did. Like, I think I went back and I put my nightie on, and I went to sleep. And then I thought I better find the bathroom. Had no memory of what she told me. And I remember like walking down a hall, and then I'm like, is that the cloister part, or is that not the cloister part? I walk down another hall. People's doors are like slightly open, and there's nothing decorated. It's all just Jesus in a bed in every room. And I keep like, so I go down like one hallway, and then I'm like, I go downstairs, and then I'm in my nightgown. And I'm running all through this place in my nightgown, like trying to find the bathroom. And then finally I see like Father John, and I'm like, hello. And he looked at me like I was nuts. And I'm like, I am looking for the bathroom. And he was like, oh, I can help you find it. And then we're like walking there, and I can't help myself. And I'm like, so I'm here because I lost my mom. And my mom was like, I was really close to her. And I, I'm going through a divorce, and I had a breakup. And like, I literally the whole way to the bathroom, just tell him my entire life story. I go to the bathroom, I come out, he's still there. Oh. And he then takes me and walks me back up towards my room. And like for a minute, I thought, do I invite him in? And no. So that was basically the story. And then I got back to LA.
But how long were you there?
I was there for 2 days. So I was supposed to be there for 3 days, but I spent one night there, and I left the next day. And
wait a minute. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You were supposed to go up for 3 days, and you just went one night, and you were like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here. And I've done that before.
Wait, tell me about that.
So I just thought I can't stay here. There's just no way. It's like get a hotel.
Well, what did you tell the nuns, and did you ever what did you do while you were there? Did you have any group conversations?
No, I walked around the garden a lot. I tried to be contemplative, and I was just, so I didn't really do much of anything but cry and walk around crying and looking for the bathroom. I
would cry in that situation too, even if I was having a good day.
Yeah. Yes. So it was just when I am going through stuff, I make really bad choices. Like one time I went to an ashram, and stayed. I left there too the next day.
Yeah.
Because it was just horrible.
How long were you supposed to be there?
I was supposed to be there for 5 days.
And what was that? Like a spiritual?
It was like a spiritual retreat in Grass Valley. And like the moment I remember I walked in there, I walk in and the guy's like, take off your shoes. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And he goes, now just go back outside. Take off your shoes. And I was like, well, hello to you too.
Yeah.
And he was like, get outside and take off your shoes. And so I like went, I thought these people aren't nice. And then I was in a room by myself. Like, this is not a good choice for me.
What were you walking into? What is an ashram?
Ashram is like, this was like a Buddhist spiritual center.
But is it a building or a tent?
No, it's like a whole, like, it's like there's like buildings and there's like cabins and there's
Oh, I see.
grasslands. And there were a lot of people. And I thought, oh, it's just going to be yoga and relaxing and healthy vegan food. No.
What is it
No.
working?
It was like basically, yes, I had to work in the kitchen that night. I had to do karma dishes.
What's that mean?
It means I had to do the dishes. So
Okay.
like I ate the dinner. And then when I got there, like I went down for dinner and not one person talked to me.
Oh my God. That's
I
so
know.
crazy.
And I kept trying to like talk to people. I'm like, how long have you been? What? And nobody wanted to talk to me.
And so okay, wait. Going back to the nunnery.
Yeah.
What was the point? Like, what do people gather in the cafeteria or the dining room? And do they make you go to mass? Do they change your clothes?
I think they go to mass. I think they just think about their life. I think the recovery people probably have meetings, which I obviously wasn't invited to.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically why they go there, to escape the world. And it's only $35 a night. And
do they have a happy hour?
No happy hour. Just bad tea.
Is there any television?
No TV.
Is there any music?
No music.
No music.
No music.
And you thought this was a good idea.
I don't know why. I thought in my head, oh, like going on a silent retreat or something. I thought that spiritually I would find my mother.
I'm so sorry. That sounds like a nightmare. Really, I would.
Yeah.
Just the bed and the Jesus would just. I just can't do it.
Yeah,
I would be so. I would feel so cloistered. Is that the word?
Yeah.
No, I would feel so. What is the word?
Claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic.
It was very claustrophobic. It was, but it was also. I mean, I think I always have this thing in my head, like I need to go on a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And so I pick these places like ashrams or like the Santa Barbara Mission, or taking mushrooms, or something to sort of take myself on some sort of spiritual journey that I will wake up and suddenly not be me. You
have a child, right?
Yeah.
And how old is your child?
She's 32.
She's 32. So, were you doing this when she was young and dependent on you?
No, I wasn't doing it when she was young.
So this is like a second. This
Yeah.
is like your not midlife crisis, but like your second part of life.
Yeah,
and you're
and
exploring.
I had her really, really young.
I see.
So by the time she was grown, I was just barely in my 40s.
Wow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're just like you've got so much more life.
Yeah, and I had never lived I got married and like had a child by the time I was 22. Wow. So I didn't.
It's when I think of people that do that, I think like I don't know, like why put so much worry in your life so early on?
I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't
in terms of like I love being a mom, but it's just worrying about one thing after another because you're so scared for their lives.
Right. When you have a child younger,
Yeah.
you don't really think like that.
Yeah.
You don't even realize that your life is that.
I see.
Yeah, so you're not so worried. Like now, like I wasn't afraid to fly when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I am now.
Oh, I see.
So I think as you get older and you see how life can be really horrifying,
Yeah.
you get more scared.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
I have this one friend from Chicago. She actually had 7 children, and she had them all before she was like 35. Like she had a large family at a very young age. And she would always say, well, the idea is that you have all your kids, and then when they're grown, we can go off and do what we want. But I guess I feel like, but you won't want to, because why would you want to leave your offspring? And I don't know, I feel like you wouldn't, and you'd be too worried to, and you're not just going to go do that.
It's weird. You start to get into weird denial. So like when they start to drive, you sort of find a weird denial. And eventually when they become a grown woman, you're like, yes, do your thing. You don't believe that will ever happen, but
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
You suddenly...
Well, that is the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, to have them separate and to have them be on their own.
And I think you eventually, there's some weird thing that happens where your brain just sort of switches over and you're like, yeah, go with your friends on a road trip. I'm not saying I don't worry.
Yeah.
I do worry. She just drove down in a van because she was going through a breakup with all of her stuff by herself down the 5, and that freaked me out a little bit.
Sure. It's interesting because, I'm happy about the path I chose. When I had my child, I didn't have her till I was 41. First time I ever got pregnant, and had a baby, right? And that was that. And I like that path because, of course, it's all I know. And here you're coming from the absolute opposite, having a child when you're 21 years old. So it's interesting that you and we still meet in the middle. You know what I mean?
We do, right.
So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, you and I have met in the middle.
Yes.
Like somehow our lives, because our lives have shadowed each other, I think.
It's interesting. We would do stand up together, like back in '99, 98, Comedy Store, Belly Room,
right,
a lot of that stuff,
all that stuff. The Kindness of Strangers.
Kindness of Strangers was one of the first places I went, and that's where I met Jim Coughlin.
Oh, right. And remember Maria Bamford was around back then. And all of those,
Well, she's still around.
She's still around. She was hanging out with us then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she still hangs out.
We've seen a lot of people become stars. And Chelsea Handler was a great friend of mine. And, she's obviously in the stratosphere. And,
Kathy Griffin, that was also
She was already pretty established, though, because she was already on Suddenly Susan and stuff.
Yeah, I went to drama school with her at 20.
Kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Nice.
Yeah, she was funny then and nice.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Anyway, listen, Lisa Orkin, what a blast to sit down and talk with you and hear about your nunnery story. I have to tell you, the next time you're feeling down, you know what I mean? Like, maybe just give me a call. We can chat it out. Hit some tennis balls.
You're like, no, don't go anywhere.
Take a hike.
Yeah, take a hike.
Why make things more difficult?
I don't know. That might be the story of my life. Yes. I just complicate it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
The ashram, the nunnery.
Yeah.
What else did you do?
I did mushrooms recently.
So that was an escape without going anywhere.
Yeah.
Were you with somebody?
I was with somebody.
Was it okay?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I was very cliche.
Yeah.
I was a cliche on mushrooms.
Laughing?
I laughed a lot. I hugged trees. I danced naked.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Cried,
Okay.
sang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who were you with?
I was with my boyfriend.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and he had
Well,
done
that's a safe space,
He
as
was,
it were.
He was super safe, and he guided me really sweetly. And I was I think that I could have easily followed like the dead around and took mushrooms and just spun in the back.
Yeah.
I think that might
Peanut butter, banana, pickle sandwiches.
yeah,
That kind of thing.
yeah. I think I could have. I think that could have been
done
another
that
life.
too. I could have done that. I think so. Followed the Dead. Although I wasn't such a huge fan of their music, but I would do it for Neil Young.
Yeah.
So there are people I would do it for.
So maybe it wasn't the Dead so much. Yeah, I would totally. I could see myself. It's just the idea of just taking mushrooms and just spinning around for 5 hours.
Long time in a flowy dress.
Yeah, I could do that.
I went to the Peace Corps,
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so I mean, I get the escaping situation. I get that.
You went to the Peace Corps. Where'd you go?
I went to the Kingdom of Tonga. You should come see my solo show.
Oh, yeah.
Surviving the Ride.
Wow.
I don't have any dates lined up right now, but I'm working on it. I really want to get up to San Francisco. I want to get to Seattle. I want to get to Boston. I have to say, I should address the fans right now of Storyworthy. If you know a theater there, you guys, in those towns I just mentioned, or in Chicago, or really anywhere, let me know. Would you email me, please? ChristineBlackburn1@gmail.com. Let me know, and I will come to your city. I'll contact the theater, and I'll get my butt there, because my show is pretty damn good, I have to say.
I would love to see your show. I am fascinated that you joined
the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Teaching English as a second language. You can see photos and stuff of the show at ChristineBlackburn.com.
That's amazing. What inspired that? Was it the Tom Hanks movie?
No. What was that, Castaway?
No, Tom Hanks, that's how he met his wife. He did a movie where they were in the Peace Corps.
Really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
it was
like
called Volunteer. Wait,
Volunteer. Was it Volunteer?
I don't remember. Man.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. You guys can find Lisa over there on Twitter. Where on Twitter?
I'm an Instagram girl.
Okay,
so Lisa Orkin Graham. is the place
Lisa
to find
Orkin
me.
Graham, at Lisa Orkin Graham.
Yeah, at Lisa Orkin Graham. You
Okay,
can find
great.
me on Twitter too.
Great. I love it. And listen, you guys, thank you so much for supporting the sponsors on the show today. And if you didn't hear a sponsor today, don't worry. You're going to hear one next week. And know that when you support my sponsors, you are supporting me. I also built a Patreon page, patreon.com/storyworthy. And over there, if you give me a very small amount of money, you'll get free tickets to my shows, including Surviving the Ride, Story Smash, etc. And I'm teaching people to tell stories. Yay! Go check it out, you guys. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, one more time on behalf of the very talented Lisa Orkin, thank you.
Oh, very welcome. Thank you.
My name is Christine Blackburn, saying, make it a story-worthy week.
To the rear, and you can follow me. I'll take you down to the river. Follow me. I'll keep you silent.
Thanks for joining us on the Storyworthy Podcast. We'll be back next week with all new stories. Subscribe to Storyworthy on iTunes and visit the Storyworthy website at storyworthypodcast.com.
I'll keep you satisfied.
Your plans? Today it's dinner with the parents at your spot.
We gotta come back here.
Now, their spot. Or you're on the edge of your seat at the game.
Come on, just one time.
And it's the one. Or maybe you're catching the next flight to...
Now boarding flight 1850.
Oh, that's you. The choice is yours. And when you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
I want to advance my nursing career, but I can't stop working or spend a lot of money to earn a degree. My family and my patients need me. At WGU, I can earn a Master of Science in Nursing while juggling my busy life.
At WGU, we hear you. That's why we built a nonprofit online university around you. Here, you set the deadlines. You take the courses on your time, and you take the test when you're ready. WGU, the University of You. Learn more at wgu.edu.